Well, good afternoon and welcome once again to Ed's Orchids. Now I thought we'd have a look at a few plants today to see how they're going on. Plants that have flowered for me before and now have started putting up new growths. So the first one we'll have a look at is this Odontoglossum hybrid. And you can see it's doing very nicely in bark and perlite. It's coming up with a nice little growth there. And a nice new growth there. So that's two new growths it's putting up. Now these come from South America and mainly in the Andes regions. And you might not know, but a large part of this genus has now moved over to the Oncidiums. 1, 2, 3. And the tip of the lip on these Odontoglossums is always set horizontally, whereas on Oncidiums the lip is always at right angles. So if you've got something you don't know exactly what it is, that might be able to help you. Now these plants require quite a good intense light, but no sunshine, if you know what I mean. As bright a light as you can give them without giving them any sunshine. Give them a little bit of shade as long as it's even bright in the shade, if you know what I mean. And then temperatures from, 9 or 10 degrees they'll stand down to up to 24 upwards. They like dampness around the roots, and waterlogging is definitely a no-no because the roots are the most delicate of all orchids on Odontoglossums, so you should treat them very, very carefully. And they don't require much fertiliser, just give them a little bit every 2 or 3 weeks, and make sure you can flush them. And if you can flush them with a little bit of Epsom salts in the water, that will bind round any salts that's still in the media and flush it through. So that's what I know about Odontoglossums. And this flowered very, very beautifully last year, so I hope it's going to do well this year on this new growth. Well, this is the other plant I want to talk about, but I'll have to leave that till later because I promised I'd be down at Sheila's in 3/4 of an hour's time. So I'll take my camera with me down to Sheila's and see what she's got, and then I'll finish this off when I come back. Okay. Well, I'm at Sheila's now and we're just going to have a look in the greenhouse. Look at this nice, I think, was it Agapanthus, is it? Absolutely gorgeous colour of blue. Beautiful. And yeah, we'll go in the greenhouse and have a look what's what in here. Mind you don't knock the cactus over. Well, the first thing I've seen is this, was it Doritonopsis purple gem, just opening. Nice spike with plenty of buds on. That's quite nice. And this one's quite nice, Ceritus stylis rubra. Absolutely lovely. I can get a full picture in. There we are. That's another nice one. Now this one looks like it's been planted upside down because everything is turning up to the light. And it's a Dendrobium primulinum. Plenty of new growths on it. But I suppose it's just righting itself now, so it should be fine. On some of that nice moss she's got on there. Dendrobium primulinum. Here's another nice one that's a bit new to me. Prostechia garciana, and this grows in sheaths. One there, looks like the dead sheaths, but they're not, they do eventually fill up. One here, ready for opening, and another one over the back there. If I can get it, there we are. I've never seen these blooms, but they look like they're going to be nice. Prosthecia garciana. Here's another plant that's doing very nicely, and the noise you can hear is the kettle boiling, so she's just coming in to water everything in a minute. And this is a Dendrobium frostii, and as you can see there, if I can get close to it, there's some blooms coming on, just one bunch, but we'll film that again when it's fully open. Dendrobium frostii. Well, a quick look round, it looks like everything's coming on okay. And we've got a Dendrobium I can't say it, thistipholum. Nice new growth started there. There's some nice nice spikes there, should be nice. They come out look a bit like a pineapple. Absolutely lovely those. And I forget what you call that, but it's one of them things that catches all the little black flies. Forget what you call it. And this is a big plant, and it's a ton weight. It's a Bulbophyllum pitidum. Something like that anyhow. Absolutely massive plant. Oh, she's got a frag here. It's the Phragmipedium lemonarianum. I think that's what they call it. It seems to be growing well. Plenty of growth on it. 1, 2, 3, 4 growths on it. Yeah, it's coming along nicely. I'd love to see that in flower. And she has another Prosthecia there. Prosthecia green hornet. And it's by the side of her award-winning plant that you must be fed up of looking at. And this is still growing very well, Epidendrum medusa. Growing very well on the mount. There's lovely moss, slide moss there. Beautiful. No wonder it's doing well. And this is one I haven't seen for a bit, Cochleanthus moonbeam. Beautiful lavender colour there. Just the one bloom on it, but more spikes coming up there. Yeah, and a lot more growths. 1, 2, another 3 growths I can see there. So that's doing very nicely. Beautiful, unusual flower. And look at the roots. Absolutely chock-a-block. Well, that's about all I can do with you without keep going over the same things time and time again. So we'll end this at Sheila's, and we'll go back to my place and we'll have a good look around there. Okay. Well, good evening, and I'm back from Sheila's now, so we'll have a look at this one. And this one is the, well, what used to be called the Maclellinaria pagan love song. And this is flowered for me very, very nicely, absolutely beautiful, and it's got a lovely new growth on it round here, if you can see. This is this season's growth. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm expecting a nice spike or two from that growth. Now this is a cross between Oncidium tiger butter and Brassia vericosa, and it's one of the easiest orchids to grow. It blooms, it has very many large blooms on it, on a single spike, and it can last up to 2 months before they start dying off. The trouble is with this plant and me is that the flowers are yellow with brown markings on it, and it's a colour that I'm not very fond of. and this plant is now referred to by the RHS as Brasidium. It comes from the same region, the Andes, as the previous plant I showed you, and they love good humidity, and if you plant them in a pot, they like very, very well draining media. You know, just bark and some perlite will do fine for them. And they like a well draining medium because if the compost that they're in gets stagnant with too much water, then it'll do severe damage to the roots. They can stand a little higher temperatures than the odontoglossums, and will tolerate temperatures up to 100 degrees for a short while, providing that they've got good air circulation. What else can I say? Only they grow pretty quickly, these. You can tell by the new growth that it's put up in the last few months. And once they've made large bushy plants, if you can call these bushy, then they can be split very easily, but only split them and leave at least a minimum of 2 pseudobulbs per division. Now, just to say, these leaves are a nice greeny yellow colour, which is good for them, and if they get far too green, then they're not getting enough light, and if they're getting too much light, they can start showing yellow, reddish tinges, like my cattleyas are showing at the moment, because they've got them under the Mars Hydro light for about 14 hours a day. Well, I think that's about enough for one video, so thanks very much for watching, thanks to my subscribers, and until I see you next time.